The pleasure of criticizing takes away from us the pleasure of being moved by some very fine things. Grief at the absence of a loved one is happiness compared to life with a person one hates. Two persons cannot long be friends if they cannot forgive each other's little failings. A man is rich whose income is larger than his expenses, and he is poor if his expenses are greater than his income. Those who make the worst use of their time are the first to complain of its brevity. Everything has been said, and we are more than 7,000 years of human thought too late. Life is a tragedy for those who feel, and a comedy for those who think. There are only 3 events in a man's life: birth, life, and death. He is not conscious of being born. He dies in pain, and he forgets to live. No vice exists which does not pretend to be more or less like some virtue, and which does not take advantage of this assumed resemblance. The most exquisite pleasure is giving pleasure to others. We keep a special place in our hearts for people who refuse to be impressed by us. The trouble is when a person does not have enough intelligence to say well or common sense to carefully keep silent. That we seldom repent of talking too little and very often of talking too much is a maxim that everybody knows and nobody practices. A real man doesn't have time to cheat because that man is too busy providing all of what a good woman deserves. Sudden love takes the longest time to be cured. Most men make use of the first part of their life to render the last part miserable. To laugh at men of sense is the privilege of fools. When a book raises your spirit and inspires you with noble and manly thoughts, seek for no other test of its excellence. It is good and made by a good workman. The unnamed should not be mistaken for the non-existent. As favor and riches forsake a man, we discover in him the foolishness they concealed, and which no one perceived before. All of our unhappiness comes from our inability to be alone. If some persons died, and others did not die, death would indeed be a terrible affliction. Men are willing to be slaves in one place if they can only lord it in another. If poverty is the mother of all crimes, lack of intelligence is their father. The same principle leads us to neglect a man of merit that induces us to admire a fool. All the intelligence in the world is useless to the one who has none. A wise man is cured of ambition by ambition itself. His aim is so exalted that riches, office, fortune, and favor cannot satisfy him. The very essence of politeness is to take care that by our words and actions we make other people pleased with us, as well as with themselves. We can recognize the dawn and the decline of love by the uneasiness we feel when alone together. One seeks to make the loved one entirely happy, or, if that cannot be, entirely wretched. Generosity lies less in giving, much than in giving at the right moment. A man is very stupid if he doesn't tell his wife compliments. Time, which strengthens friendship, weakens love. If it is true that one is poor on account of all the things one wants, the ambitious and the avaricious languish in extreme poverty. Not to be able to bear with all bad-tempered people with whom the world is crowded shows that a man has not a good temper himself. We are afraid of the old age, which we may never attain.